Hey guys, Andrew here from Vamos, ready to talk about Rafael Nadal and his use of anaesthetic injections in his foot at the most recent Roland Garros tournament. So as you're probably aware, Rafael Nadal took out his 22nd Grand Slam title and his 14th Roland Garros title in Paris last week. Probably the most controversial topic going around in tennis at the moment is his use of anaesthetic injections in order to be able to take to the court at that Roland Garros tournament. That Roland Garros title for Rafa is a massive deal when it comes to settling the debate regarding who is the greatest male tennis player of all time. So that title takes Rafa to 22 Grand Slam titles overall. That means he's 2 ahead of Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer, who have 20 apiece. As we headed into the clay court swing prior to the French Open getting underway, it's coming out that he has a degenerative foot condition called Muller-Weiss syndrome. So I think we even saw at the Italian Open visibly limping on the court and struggling to get through matches.
Let's just hope this is a short-term issue.
Obviously, Rafa played unbelievable at the French Open. It was probably some of the best tennis I've ever seen him play, just in terms of grit and determination.
Rafael Nadal never fails to amaze. What an extraordinary match.
But obviously, after the fact, when the Djokovic fans, it seems, started to voice their opinion online, a lot of pundits from other sports started to come out and say it was a bit iffy what Rafa did, not in terms of a legal standpoint. So WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, they came out straight after the tournament and said that what Rafa did was completely legal, completely within the rules. I saw a couple of articles online voicing their opinion regarding whether Djokovic would receive the same sort of treatment that Rafa did. I kind of agree with the Djokovic fans here that if Djoko was receiving anaesthetic injections to numb his foot in order to take the court, I think there would be a lot more public outrage and a lot more people would be able to disagree with it. In the end, that simply comes down to who the tennis public likes more. So Rafa is generally well liked, whereas Djoko at the moment, and for a long time really, isn't that well liked among the tennis public and among most tennis fans. So just to recap what Rafa did, he completely numbed his foot through anaesthetic injections. I would quickly point out that although it allowed him to take to the court, I don't think it allowed him to play better than he normally would, but it definitely allowed him to get on the court and make things happen. Here are the facts of the case basically. Nadal has a congenital degenerative foot issue that flares up from time to time. That is the Muller-Weiss syndrome that we discussed earlier. The pain he was feeling after Rome, that was the Italian Open that we spoke about before, would have made it impossible for him to be competitive without painkillers. And finally, painkillers are not PEDs. So I think it would actually surprise a lot of the tennis public who, if they paid a little bit more attention, how many tennis players take to the court not hopped up on painkillers, but most tennis players, because there aren't significant injuries, it's more just wear and tear injuries when you're a tennis player. It's more injuries that you can carry throughout the year, and you just sort of have to grit your teeth and get through in order to win matches. So I'll bring up a quote quickly from Dr. Adrian Roux, who's a radiologist that works with a lot of soccer players, and he had quite a unique point of view. So he said, from a legal point of view, no, Nadal did not cheat in any way. There are no regulations preventing injections of anesthetics in tennis. Moreover, injectable anesthetics do not have anabolic or exciting properties, whatever their mode of administration, Roux said. This is not the case with corticosteroids taken orally, which can have an anabolic effect taken on a regular basis. Dr. Roux goes on to say, but in my opinion, this poses a real problem. The definition of doping is an external chemical substance that will make you perform better physically or mentally. There, we put a nerve to sleep, to put a painful area to sleep, even ultra painful, because pathology is a lot of pain. A normal individual could probably barely walk without pain. I kind of understand where Dr. Roux is coming from, but this is where it sort of gets into a grey area, and this is applied more widely to sport in general. So where do you draw the line with this sort of stuff? So we even did a video the other day regarding caffeine and its proven ability to improve performance in sport. So the question is, like, are you not allowed to have a coffee anymore before you take to the court? Are you not allowed to use whey protein afterwards because that can help build muscle? There are chemicals that are completely legal that we use in everyday life in order to enhance our lives, enhance our performance, and enhance our performance in sport. So my point of view is this. I think that tennis is ultimately an entertainment sport. We want the best players in the world taking to the tennis court and playing tennis against each other. And the key point is that any other player that he played during the tournament could have done exactly the same thing if they had faced the same syndrome or a significant injury, they could have taken advantage of this exact same injection. So that to me means it's fair. In the end, Rafa won the tournament. He was the best player on clay in that tournament, and he deserved to win. So whether you think Rafa did an unethical thing is a completely different story. So that comes down to your own morals and values. So I kind of understand where you're coming from when you think, Rafa did something wrong by using that anesthetic injection on his foot just in order to be able to take to the court. But that is your own personal viewpoint, and if you view it as unethical, doesn't mean it's illegal or it's against the rules in sport. So I think if Rafa had to withdraw due to that foot injury, we wouldn't have got the entertaining brand of tennis that we did. We wouldn't have seen Rafa play Djoko in that exciting and enthralling quarterfinal matchup. And ultimately, Rafa took on all comers and he won. Regardless of the anesthetic injections, he was the best player at that tournament and he deserved to take his 14th Roland Garros title. My question for you guys is, if you were playing an opponent tomorrow, let's say you're playing a tournament and you knew your opponent was injured, they had an injured ankle, injured foot, just like Rafa, maybe they've got Müller-Weiss syndrome as well. Would you be okay with them using anesthetic injections in order to take the court, even if that meant they beat you and they take a place in the final ahead of you? So obviously if they weren't able to use that anesthetic injection, they wouldn't be able to play against you, they wouldn't be able to take to the court, and you would therefore move into the final. Or do you think they should have to play through the pain and not use anesthetic injections? It becomes a little bit different, I guess, when we think about it in terms of ourselves. But in the end, I'm going to go that Rafa did nothing wrong. And I would actually be okay with an opponent using these injections in order to take the court. Because ultimately, tennis is about entertainment. You want to see the best players in the world playing tennis against each other. And you wouldn't want to knock someone down just for having a degenerative foot injury. We want to see the best players in the world playing against each other as much as possible. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Rafa? What do you think of the use of anesthetic injections? Do you think it should be outlawed, or do you think it's perfectly okay? And mostly, would you be okay with an opponent using it? Would you be all right with them taking to the court with a numb foot and then end up beating you? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and vamos.